All right, Jason. Today we want to talk about a celebration. Both of us have gone through different things in the last 3 to 4 weeks, and we wanted to tell people that we're happy. We're pretty happy with ourselves. So, what is that? Why are
Yeah.
you happy over the last 4 weeks?
The happiness is actually, I haven't worked hardly at all in the last 3 weeks, but my income has not changed. I did not lose income in the last 3 weeks. What in the world? At first, I was like, holy cow, I didn't do anything. But it's like, wait a second. I don't have to worry about going into the office every single day. It's summer. We can do whatever we want. We have things on autopilot, so we can actually still make the same income even if we didn't do any work at all. What about you? I mean, you're kind of in the same boat.
Yeah, that's right. We are currently in Michigan, but we've been traveling around the Great Lakes, right? And sometimes we're in the woods where we didn't even have service. And that was pretty cool because there wasn't meetings that I had to attend. We had done the work up front, right? Recordings of videos for YouTube, letting our clients know that we needed to either book some sessions ahead of time or after these few weeks. And like you said, our income actually hasn't changed. And it's pretty fun to be able to do that because we're both self-employed. Now, being an employee, it's cool because you get PTO, paid time off, and you put in and you ask for permission and you get paid for that week or two that you take away. We don't have paid time off in the sense that we have to ask for permission, but we are not working and still getting paid. We've just organized our life as a self-employed business owner.
Yeah. It's almost like most people's dreams. Most people that I talk to, when I say what I'm doing, what I'm not doing, right? Being semi-retired in my 30s and then now in business for 10 years, having the freedom and flexibility, kind of do what I want. I've mentioned in other videos, I take 6 to 8 getaways, like week-long getaways per year. And that doesn't even include like what I just did for the last 3 weeks, which is I was at home, I did stuff around locally, but I wasn't working. So it's true. I kind of do whatever I want, and I have my income stream set up to where I still get paid, and I don't have to worry about, oh no, if I don't do this, then I don't get paid. Like obviously I work, I do the things that I need to do to keep that income. But like Mike said, I set my client schedule the way that I want to. I can adjust things here or there so that everything is on that autopilot though, so that my income stays the same, or I can make more money if I sign up a couple clients or if we sell courses or whatever we do. It's kind of like everybody's dream is to be like, wait, I can make the same income and not work as much. Like, what? What's going on there? So well, let's talk a little bit about how we set that up.
Perfect. For me, logistically, like the logical side of things is that Elle and I, my wife and I, we have a budget. We've also gotten out of debt. So personally, right, taking a step back from business, and it's related because not having debt and being on a fixed income that we've created by keeping those expenses low helps me determine how much money I need to bring in from the business. So not on the first of the month, but on the 29th of each month, I have scheduled an automatic payment from business into our checking account, our joint checking account that's our income, that's our paycheck, our spend for that month. And that works out very well for us. We quite like that. Now that number can change. And right now that number is $2,500 a month to live the life that we want to live. It may increase, it may decrease. Every season is going to be different and our opportunities are different, but that's what it is set to right now. In that example, let's go to the business. I told you we need $2,500 to live the life that we need. So for business, now I've got to be able to generate that. So in that example, Jason, how would you generate $2,500 with ILMA?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's dozens of ways to make money online, and that's what ILMA is. Ideal Life and Money Academy is an online business, right? This is what we do. We have our YouTube channel where we have offers. So we provide service, help, advice, things like that around finance, career, making money, things like that. And then we have offers, we have online courses, we have individual coaching, we have other things, group coaching, memberships, things like that that people can purchase on the side. So, however that works, if it's monthly or annually or whatever, that's income that's generated either monthly or semi-monthly or annually. And that's how we would calculate how much we have coming in so that we know what we need to make in our individual coaching.
Yeah. So that could be one client for one-on-one coaching. That may even be one client. If you have a business client, that may cover multiple months of that example of $2,500 a month. If you have a $25 course, we don't, but if we did, then that is 100 new people every month signing up to that $25 course. Or if it's a monthly recurring thing, right? They pay $25 a month. You need 100 people to pay you that. So that's an example of an online business of how that looks.
Yeah. And that's one, what we call revenue stream, right?
Mhm.
One stream of income. And then you could have multiples, right? We know plenty of people who have multiple businesses. Maybe one's an online business, maybe one's a physical business where they have a shop somewhere and they provide a service like they're fixing bicycles or dirt bikes, or maybe they're selling items. Maybe they have a gadget or a widget that they sell. Maybe they do consulting, right? There's all kinds of different ways to make money now. I mean, and it doesn't all have to be in person. It doesn't all have to be online. It could be a hybrid mixture of ways to make income, right? There's also things like commissions and sales for affiliates,
Yeah.
right? So that's something that we offer as well for our courses and things like that. We have an affiliate program that's built in. So if you wanted to make extra money, but you didn't know how, you can't create your own course or whatever, you can sell other people's courses like ours and you get paid on that. If you just have a little bit of an audience or you tell people about our coaching or our courses, you can make money doing that. It's a real thing. So you can tap into all kinds of different ways to make money. Now, you're not going to make a whole living on that, but it's a little bit here, a little bit there. And by that time, you can like, wow, we have half of our income covered every month by a side online business, selling a couple of courses, and one consulting gig. And you're only working a few hours a week doing something like that. You know?
Yeah, I think that's a great example. And to take that step back, you need to know how much money you're spending per month. For L and I, that's $2,500. That's probably pretty low for some people. Now, remember, we don't have a house or mortgage. We live in the RV, which is great. So that consideration. Maybe you need $5,000 a month. Maybe you need $10,000 a month, right? It's not, especially in the two countries I've lived. I've lived only in the US and Australia. But if you want to work, man, you can make money. Jason and I are only really talking about the online side hustles in addition to right now. What came to mind when he was talking was contract work. Elle and I have been contractors together. We're going to be contractors again in the future in different businesses. But I'm also a contractor because I have an electrical engineering background. And I can go make multiple thousands of dollars a week doing that. And you could too. This site work, right? With my background, high voltage power protection. That's another example. You can buy and sell cars. There is so many options out there if you want to work. But being clear on how much you need to spend, that helps you understand how much you want to bring in and from where. All right, here's a good one, Jason. We haven't even talked about investing, right? If you have money, you can get paid in dividends. Now, they may only come quarterly or semi-annually, but you can also set it up where you can just pull off an extra $1,000 a month from just investments. And that's a fantastic position to be in.
Yeah. We love options. And when you have
Yes.
more options, you have a better chance of living the ideal life that you've designed. Like we talk about this all the time. That's why we named this the Ideal Life and Money Academy, is because we want you to live your ideal life. And your ideal life might be way, way pie in the sky that you think that you can't live. But if you have these options, some of these options that we've talked about, the chances of you living that ideal life are way greater than if you have your head stuck in the sand like an ostrich and just say, I can only get this job at this factory doing this thing, right? Old school mentality of I have to be physically present doing hourly work, right? And that you can't grow that. You can't make more time so where you can make more hours and make more hours and make more hours. You can't do that. You only have a certain amount of hours a day, just like we do. But if you have a little bit of creativity and a little bit of um, gumption to do something outside of the box, you can exponentially grow that income way more than you could just signing up for a second job, a third job, a fourth job, and working an hourly for hourly pay. And that is crucially different for living that ideal life because you have time back, right? Time is one of the best resources that we have available to us as human beings. Time, money, and health, right? Those are the three things that we talk about all the time.
Yeah. So our question to you is, what is that thing for you? What is that side hustle? What does that online business mean for you? Comment below this video, wherever you're watching, or this podcast when you're listening. Comment below and let us know what comes to mind when you think of how could I get paid for what I know?
Yeah, or what you want to do. Figure out what you
Mhm.
want to do. Figure out what you're willing to do and figure out what you're not willing to do. That's another question. Is what are you not willing to do? Right? That's one of the things that I have kind of like vowed to myself, I think maybe even to a fault, is like I'm never going to go back to the 9 to 5 working in corporate life, right? All that stuff because I've now tasted the freedom and I don't want what that was. Some people thrive in that environment. Some people love that and want that, and that's awesome. But for me, that is something that I don't want anymore. Now, again, maybe sometime I might have to go back and get a job doing something, but if I can help it, that's not something for me. So you have to ask the question of what you're willing to do, but also what you're not willing to do.
Yep. Clarity is everything.
All right. Good luck. Take care. Get that recurring income idea sparked in your life, and we'll see you soon.